YouTube, it is Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we have another exciting clutch update. And this is a clutch we were really excited about, so I can't wait to share that with you. It was clutch number 3, which was our Calico Blitz clutch. And yes, that means you can see the third ever that we know of Calico Blitz has shut out, and I'll show you the original Calico Blitz and you can see how they're going to look. So pretty awesome. But before we get to all that, I do want to take a moment to we still got a good name for it, but I want to give a mention. I'm going to do more than mention. I want to talk about somebody who is one of our fans I want to reach out to really quick, and this is a young man named Parker. And I understand that Parker has been fighting a disease for quite a while, and you know, it's one of those situations where a kid's going to fight, you know, for a long time. It has been fighting for a long time, but it may not always be a winnable battle no matter how hard you try. And you know, his family reached out to us. So your dad reached out to us, Parker, and he let us know that you watch us pretty often. And apparently we got a chance to meet you in Denver. You know, we met so many people, we didn't even pick up everybody's name. But to find out how hard you've been fighting and what you've had to go through, you know, everything that you've had to give up in the 11 years you've been, like baseball, and heard the kid's a hell of a ball player, but just medically not able to do that anymore. To find out that you spend your time watching us is an inspiration to actually me, because there's so many of the things that you could do and that you enjoy this. You'll never have any idea how much that means to me. So you are definitely, without ever knowing it, and with only meeting me for a few minutes in Denver, now that I know your story, you're an inspiration to me and an inspiration to us. So everybody wish Parker the happiest and healthiest possible, and we appreciate you. So thank you so much, Parker, for being a fan, because it just blows my mind that you spend your time with us on a weekly basis, and that's what we've been told you do. You look forward to the videos, and it blows my mind that we've had an impact at all. So thank you. All right, but with that being said, we wish the best, and again, thank you so much. But let's get on to showing some snakes, shall we? And the first one up, bear with me everybody, is 180301, and what we have here is a very, very healthy normal. And if you notice in our first few clutches, I kept saying female, female, female a lot. You're going to notice that theme has changed. This is a male normal. And again, just a true classic, what they're supposed to look like, whether you want to call them a classic, a normal, a wild type, you know, straight out of Africa. If you went over to the the continent of Africa, and you went to look for ball pythons, this is what you'd find in the wild. Something just like this. This is how they're supposed to look. This is how natural selection and evolution has created them to hide the best in their environment and be the most successful. So still a really cool animal. And like I say, it's these normals that tend to get everybody going. You know, most people's first snake was a normal of some sorts. Mine was a normal red-tailed boa. You know, a lot of people start with a normal ball python. And again, here is, come here little buddy, another normal ball python. So we got a couple of those. And again, this is another little male. So I do promise our odds got better as we went. But we did hit 2 normal males. You want to show your head there, little buddy? He's got kind of a little flame mark on his head that's kind of cool, though. Not as odd as the other one we listed as odd head, but really neat animal. Speaking of the other 2 clutches you saw, if there's any of you that are looking and thinking, man, I really want to get, you know, one of those Mojaves that popped up or something like that, I'll be honest, if you're not on Patreon, it ain't going to happen. The only thing I have left from that clutch, from those both clutches that didn't sell on Patreon, is a couple normals and 1 low expression inchie. Everything else sold. So if you're not on Patreon, this is me telling you, come get there if you want to get one of these. We just don't have enough stock for everybody. So it's kind of the way that has to work. Moving on to 180303, and this is where it gets better. And this one, cranky, little calico. Now, when you look at these young calicos, one thing I want you to look is, you're going to see a lot of pink. Not as much pure white, but a lot of pink in there, right? You can really see it in the tail. I'll hold it up for you, Kurt, right through here. All that pinkish is going to turn white. So as this thing ages, it's going to be a very, very nice calico. And you can see that lengthening on the tail. Really cool creature right there. And I just love what calico does to the back part of snakes. Put him back in there. And again, this is also, yep, you guessed it, a male. So we were 3 for 3 on having penises. Not usually what you're looking for. But it does get the one female of the clutch right here. I believe it's the only female. We may have had one more to look. This is a Blitz. So this is a classic Blitz, our line that we work with it. We got through Tall Grass Reptiles. And you can just see, you know, when you put a Blitz up, people say, I don't see it. Well, let me show it to you, guys. Let me show it to you where you can see it. When you put one of those classics up next to a Blitz, you can see how this color's turned up a notch. You can also see the pattern, how wonky and crazy this pattern is, how busy it is compared to that, how the blacks are just kind of, everything's kind of cleaner and brighter, and they get these little rings, ding, 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 that I've noticed a lot on our line of Blitz that we use, and you also get a lot of just the pattern wanting to hook in on itself in the alien heads. So just a really oddball little snake in the pattern. So really cool, but this is definitely a female Blitz. So really neat that we did get one straight Blitz. Put these two back up. And again, that one was female. And it was the only one. But other than those first two normals, the odds weren't terrible on us, because here's another Calico. And again, this is going to be a really neat Calico. You can really see the colors coming out in there, where all that white's going to be. I don't think its tail pattern is quite as long on the funky, but you had a ringer starting there in the orange. Really neat little snake. So, and again, I love Calico. You put Calico with your pastels, you put Calico with your spiders, it really interacts really well. And Calico, you know, it's just an awesome snake in how it does it. Here's a third one. And again, this one also has a really funky tail. You know, this one's really neat looking. It's got a lot of black on its back. I'll be honest, if you were looking for a male Calico, this is one I would take a flyer on. By taking the flyer, I mean, I'd pick this one up over the other two first. It should be the first one to go, simply because of it almost has a ring on the tail, which Calico can do quite a bit of. You look cranky, but you'll see in a minute that its pattern is a little different. There's a slight chance, and I do mean slight, that this would be a low expression Blitz Calico. I don't think so. If I thought it was, I'd call it that. But there's not been enough Blitz Calicos seen that we know of to really be able to say for sure how they're all going to look. But when you're looking for a Blitz Calico, this is a good example. I know, you're going to try to bite the crap out of me. Let's not do that. Not this guy. This guy's being fine. And again, you can really see the Blitz pattern. You can see the black. I mean, it's just funky. When you get to the tail on these guys, look at this. Look at that. How just crazy wonky that is. It's going to end up with a lot of orange in it because they do. That's just kind of what happens with these. So you can really see how it kind of just bleeds out in there and it looks way different. So that isn't a good expression of a Blitz Calico. I think that Blitz Calico is going to have more white on it than the original Blitz Calico we held back, which we call these CALITZs. And I'll show you the original CALITZ we held back so you get an idea of what the colors do. Of course, the time I'm going to do that, she's going to be in shed. But, and again, she's deep in blue, so keep that in mind. But you've seen her and you can look at her old videos, this will all be orange through here. So it just does some crazy, crazy wonky things, and the belly gets really wonky. And if you look at that, you'll start seeing that in this one's belly too, the orange markings. So this is definitely a Calico Blitz. And this is one of the craziest, funkiest snakes that we've ever hatched out. So, now it didn't do what I thought it would do. I expected, because when you look at a straight up Blitz, you weren't the straight up Blitz. You were the straight up Blitz. One thing I noticed, which made me think a lot of kind of how pastel does, is at the bottom base, you get some orange flecking in there. It kind of comes up a little higher than usual. And you see that in pastels too. So I thought, you know what? I wonder if when I mix the Blitz in, if I could get the white to really blow up into here like you do when you do a Calico, or a Blitz, sorry, a Calico pastel. But I didn't get that. What I instead got though was these completely crazy funky snakes. And instead of that white turning all, or the pink turning all white, it tends to turn orange, and this will tend to brighten with age, at least if it does what the other ones did. So this is really funky, and you can look, especially on this side, how long that pattern from here, like the whole second half of the snake is just a mess of pattern. Really neat. Really neat. What do you think of this thing, Kurt?
It's my favorite.
It's your favorite? It's his favorite. All right, guys. That's all we have in clutch 3. But before we go, let's go to Question Girl, see if she has any questions.
Yeah, you pulled out 180302,
yes.
And I thought it was a normal. Can you pull it out one more time?
It was a normal.
Well, I have a question about it, which is why I'm wanting you to pull it out.
Okay, I thought I saw something else. It's a normal.
No, it's pretty, like, golden here on the side.
Yes.
And then I saw that the CALITZs that you pulled out were kind of pinkish along the side. Is that how you can tell in a clutch that is supposed to throw calico that you're dealing with a calico and not a normal?
Absolutely. There's a couple ways you can tell. I'll use this one to show.
Just because for a novice, they look kind of similar,
You're right. I understand exactly what you're saying. That's a good question. So if you're breeding calicos for the first time and you're having a hard time telling, because the patterns can be a little bit normal, especially near the front half. If you look, that pink is a dead giveaway, okay? And this doesn't have that pink. It's more of an orange. And that pink will already have some white. More of it's going to come out as it ages, so you look for that. Then I always also like to look at the back of a snake when I'm looking for calico, because some of these won't have very much of that pink if you have a really low expression calico. And calico's weird on that. Calico, a low white can throw a high white and vice versa, kind of like a pine. But if you get your calicos with this oddball screwed up tail pattern, that's going to tend to pass on more, I think. So if you look in the back half, the pattern is never normal on a calico. It'll often be just odd. So normal kind of pattern looking, and then a complete screwed up mess down the sides of it in the back third. So that back third and the pink, that's the giveaway when you're breeding calicos for the first time or any time. That's what you'll look for. So when you put them to genes, wash, like, we did calico champagnes one time, and we hit a lot of different snakes. A few of them we were pretty certain were calico champagne, but it's really hard to tell because it wasn't quite like the online single picture you could find showed it. It just brightened it up a little bit, and they tend to throw ringers in too. We threw a lot of ringers because champagnes know to throw ringers. And when you take something in it that messes with that back third pattern, you get a ringer. Not always, but from that female, we threw a ton of ringers that year, and we didn't put calico to it. We didn't throw any ringers. So the calico will also bring out, like I say, that weird pattern, whatever you put it to in the back third. Any more questions?
No, that was my main question based upon this clutch.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's clutch update number 3. Now we're going to flip over to Patreon, and this is where those Patreon members get the first chance to purchase these snakes. What they don't purchase will then make available to the public. But like I say, the last 2 clutches, everything but 1 inchy, has sold out, guys. So I really encourage you to go check out that Patreon. It's a $5 a month subscription fee. It helps keep us going. It helps us add things, help us do cool, amazing projects, and keep Olympus growing, where maybe one day Kurt and I can do just this for a living, which is our ultimate goal. And it's where most of our snakes sell. So, all right, thanks for watching. See you next week.